No, he does.
Yeah, right.
He's in charge and he does patrol, but now his job is now.
I did talk to Lionel briefly yesterday on that item.
Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to our Drainage District Board of Directors meeting for today, August 27, 2013. We have Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 2, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself present. We have a quorum. Mr. Garza, can you proceed?
We have nobody signed up for open forum, Judge. May I proceed? Under item 4, excuse me, sir. We have the approval of the consent agenda for the board's consideration under item 3.
No concerns.
Need a second? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, under item 4, requesting approval to purchase one wet cut unit to install on existing slope mowers through the district's membership with Tiger Mower Corporation by board contract number 373. What we're looking at right now is to try to develop a dual purpose for our shredders. We bought a herbicide machine several years back, and it was a sizable investment. And we've got quite a few slope mowers that we've gotten with a dealership, and there's an adapter that you can put on the slope mower itself to provide herbicide. So when the arm extends out, when they're cutting, they can also herbicide. So we're buying one to see how the system operates, which would be able to give us the ability to convert probably all of our fleet also to herbicides and also to shredders. So we'd like authority to go ahead and buy this one. It's about $6,000. It's $2,000 for the tank, $2,000 for the arm itself, and $2,000 for the installation for the factory rep. So if it works out, we'll probably try to do it ourselves later.
Check with a question.
Yes, sir.
When would it be available?
When will it be available?
Right.
It should take 45 days for us to get it installed and ready to operate, Commissioner.
Good. That's it.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Under 5, approval to review and update existing Drainage Advisory Committee. Commissioner Cuellar has been able to provide us the names for the replacements and also his members. Commissioner, would you like to read them, or would you like for me to read them, sir?
Go ahead.
Then I'll proceed. Under the first appointment that he had, Mayor Hector Elizondo, he is replacing the individual with Veronica Solis Ramirez. Individual named David Suarez is being replaced by Primitivo Rodriguez. He's maintaining Mr. Rene Salinas. He's retaining Mr. Mayor David Simons. Mr. Erasmo Lopez is to be replaced by David Barbosa. He is recommending under the technical support for Mario Garcia to stay on and for Mr. Ken Jones to stay on. These should be the last members that have received replacement on the advisory
For
committee.
approval?
Check.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, we do have some items under real estate and potential litigation executive session.
We have some other appointments there, do we not? For example, Commissioner Palacios has George Lázaro and Bill Moschel.
That was done last
I have not received those. If Commissioners ready to replace them?
I'll touch base with him. I'll bring it back some other time.
Okay, sir, I apologize. I didn't have your request, Commissioner. I just had Commissioner Cuellar.
I have John Womack,
I did, yeah.
which we've done on you.
I'll bring the item back next week, Commissioner, if you could give me the list on it, sir.
Sure. He's got another.
Previously approved.
Go ahead.
Judge, Commissioners, I believe those were approved at a previous meeting,
Okay.
both Womack and Commissioner Palacios.
Now, the only ones that were pending from my understanding was Commissioner Cuellar, sir.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Do we have anything under executive?
Yes, sir, we have some real estate and some potential litigation for the board to consider.
Okay, pursuant to 551-071 and 072, need a motion to proceed to
Move for
executive
approval.
session. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries. We're going to be in executive session for a short while. All right, can we have your attention, please? We're ready to proceed back in open session on our agenda for the Drainage District.
Judge Commissioner, I would like authorization from the board to proceed with a counteroffer to Ware Road LTD for a property on 17 and a half with an appraised value of $156,389.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Judge, I have no other item for the board's consideration.
At this time, I would entertain a motion on the issue involving the IBWC authorizing,
Judge, with due respect, I believe legal counsel has some items for that.
sir?
Judge, I think the only thing on that matter is to authorize you to execute the letter to the
That one
IBWC.
identified, dated August 7,
No,
2013,
August 19th, I believe. That was
but that's dated August 7.
that's the previous letter. There were two letters.
All right, well, I need the right one then.
It's dated August 19th.
Okay. Thank you. A motion to authorize myself as county judge on behalf of the County Commissioners Court to respond to the IBWC by letter dated August 19, 2013, respond to their letter to us dated December 19, 2012.
And Judge, I believe that would be from the Drainage District Board, correct?
That is correct, sir.
Yes.
Oh, that's correct, to the Hidalgo County Drainage District, number 1 board.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We'll prepare that letter on the district's letterhead and present to your office, sir.
All right, sir. Let me give you these letters since they were given to us in the executive. All right, at this time, we're going to convene the regular meeting of the Hidalgo.
Judge, if you
Oh,
could
we
adjourn the
We
drainage
need to
district.
adjourn Drainage.
Move to adjourn?
Need a second.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, meeting's adjourned.
Thank you very much, Judge
Thank
Commissioner.
you. This time, we're going to convene our regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today, August 27, 2013. Present are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 2, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, we come to you this day asking for your blessings, asking for your wisdom. Help us to understand complex matters that are before us sometimes. We ask you to bless our country, bless the whole world, keep us with peace, not war. Please, dear Lord, bless our county, bless our state, bless our families. And thank you, dear Lord, for the rain you have sent. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, on our consent agenda, any concerns, Mr. Frazi?
Yes, Judge. I would like to ask that consent agenda item 5A, 10A, 13A, 13B, 13D, 13F1, 13H, and 13J be pulled for discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And consent agenda item 5A, we recommend no action, Judge. The District Clerk July 2013 fee report needs to be corrected. So we would like to
Do we know
ask
that,
you-
sir?
no action, and they're going to resubmit it.
Marty, is that accurate?
Oh, I'm not here for the district clerk. I've got quite a few.
Is there anyone here for the district clerk's office?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning,
Judge,
sir.
yeah, I spoke with the district clerk this morning. They agree with no action on that item.
All right. Thank you. And 13A?
10A, Judge.
10A. You didn't, well, okay.
Yeah, 10A, that's for the Health and Human Services Department. And that item is in the consent section of the agenda, and we recommended that the, be placed under the regular, basically I wanted for the court to be aware of the action that is being taken related to that item. And I think I have the numbers wrong. 5A, let's see, 5A was the item that just approved, right?
No action on that one.
Yeah, but I think that, that is wrong, Judge, on the, I'm sorry, hold on. Let me pull the right.
Well, there's nobody here to, oh,
Eddie's here.
yes, Eddie.
Eddie?
But there's Eddie right there, I guess Eddie's gonna,
Judge, this is a concern about the bank reconciliation on the consent agenda?
yes, let me read it, Eddie, so you can explain.
What happened here, Judge, is when we changed bank accounts to our new banking organization, there had been a discrepancy in dealing with our final balance, and there was a deficit balance of like $173 or $143.
17203.
Yeah, 172. What happened there was that it had to do with when a bad check was written, and then it was redeposited and it got collected, there was fees charged as far as the process of the banking. Well, this happened over a 12-year period, so over 12 years, some of the reconciliations done by my staff and the accounting and the auditor staff didn't catch those $5, $10 charges, and they added it up over the years. So at the end, the county, our account had paid the county $172 more than it should have, and so therefore there was this overdrawn in the final account over 12 years of that bank account with our former bankers. So what happened now is we're needing to reconcile this to close it. Now, this was money that was taken from health to Hidalgo County Treasurer. So this was not a person involved or anything, this was transition of money from one account to another, and it had to do with the banking fees and dealing with some of these checks and transactions, and it amounted to $172 over 10 years, and it was not caught on the audit by the auditor's office, by the external auditor. It just came out at the end when the bank account was closed.
Mr. Foster, you've had a chance to review it. You just wanted it to be on the
I just
regular
wanted
agenda?
to be disclosed instead of being on the consent agenda.
All right.
And I think if it's NSF checks, I would think that
And they were processed, they were submitted to the DA's office, they were submitted to all those, everything was done, but
Well,
there
we've
were
already
still
discussed it.
transaction fees.
Right.
We've-
And
it's been
Judge,
discussed.
let me read the agenda item. It's 10A1, request and authorization and approval to replenish the health clinic bank account. And 10A2, request and authorization and approval to direct Ms. Norma Garcia, Hidalgo County Treasurer, to generate a check in the amount of $172.03 payable to Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department in order to adhere to the above action.
Everything's in order.
Move
Yeah.
for approval of
Need a
10A, 1 and 2.
Need a second? Those in favor say aye. Aye, motion
And
carries.
so I need to acknowledge, there was a lot of work done by Michael Escaname and the auditor staff on this when we closed out that account. This is, again, it goes back like 12 years worth of review. Thank you.
Eddie. On 13A, Judge, I think this, Marty is going to address that, right, Marty?
Yes, sir. This is going to be taken, no action. However, the Precinct 2 had already advised the auditor yesterday that no action would be taken.
All right,
I'm merely
so
repeating.
No action on
No action on
13A.
13A.
On 13B, we concur with the auditor's request for no action. On 13D, as is our practice, we have advised the vendor that the insurance is about to expire, and we will, of course, not let it, processing, they know, will not take place until we receive that certificate.
All right.
So do I,
On 13B, Judge, what it is the invoice contains errors, so we will...
oh, I'm sorry, I'm
process-
reading behind, I'm so sorry.
No, but no, we are in 13D as in David. You said no action on B.
On-
Right, we're on
No
D.
action on B?
Yes, we already
Okay,
took
I'm
action.
sorry. I thought you said A.
No action. The other one is we have...
All right, we need action on 13D, correct?
Yes,
On D, you saying,
D as in David.
all right.
All right.
We do recommend
Need a
action.
motion?
So
Move for
moved.
approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The same applies to 13F. We did
F1.
provide the insurance, but it's about to expire.
Move for approval.
So the vendor has been
Second.
advised.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Marty, but that was just F1, right?
F-
The issue was
F1.
with F1.
F1 only.
Okay.
On H, 13H, we just want to know that no more than $100,071.65 will be applied or paid, which is the maximum amount posted on the agenda. There may be some tweaking of that amount, but in no instance would we pay more than $100,071.65.
All right.
So I do ask for action.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
On 13J, we are asking for you to take action, although we do have some outstanding documentation, which is a change order that is being routed right now for signatures, including the county judge's office, so we would ask it subject to that documentation.
And what it is, Judge, the purchase order that is in place doesn't have sufficient funding to pay the
Although
the invoice.
although it was approved by Commissioners Court in June that it be increased, we still were lacking this document in order for all of that to come to closure.
Move for approval with
Second.
corrected.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
All right. Mr. Guajardo, Arturo, is there any item, welcome this morning, any item that you're here that needs to be addressed?
I'm not presenting anything this morning.
All right, sir.
Just in case you got questions about the budget.
We have our constable, Mr. Eddie Guerra, here this morning on items 8E and 8F. All right. Our first presenter under open forum is Fern McClarty.
Good morning. I have a couple of remarks and questions. I see that we're doing a resolution in honor of a young man today, and it's a young Democrat, and I'm hoping that next week we'll have something on for someone that's a Republican. There's two parties, possibly three, but I'd like to see a Republican also. And my other thing, I did an open records trying to find out about the reports from all the JPs in the county. And then I had asked, is there a deadline to get these reports in? If not, why? And I got a report back and I got my numbers. But then I said that the Public Information Act does not require a government body to provide answers to a general inquiry. But I did get my answer. It says, regarding the deadline for filing reports, Local Government Code 114.001B, a monthly report must be filed within 5 days after the date of each month. I know the reports have to go to the auditor. He has to look them over, and it takes a little bit of time. But there is a government code. I was told this morning that it's not a county code, but it's a state from what I understand. So maybe y'all should put it in your books over there so that the different departments will know that they need to get their numbers out in a timely manner so that the county will know what's coming in. And I did notice that on the numbers that I received, that we have one JP41 who always has the highest numbers, and there's a JP42 who now has all the lowest numbers. So somebody needs to check in and find out why these numbers are so low. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Next presenter is Opal Billman.
Good morning. My name is Opal Billman. By law, this divorce action was supposed to be dismissed in 2003. Court records will reveal there was no value or division of our community property, leaving our community property exactly as it entered the court, jointly owned and undivided. A commercial development has been built on the frontage of the north 20 acres of John H. Sherry, Lot 184. Buildings are located on our land. The philosophy being presented is that this is my problem. No, it isn't. It is not I who used someone else's money to build on land owned by someone else. Law of the state of Texas is that anyone who builds on land that he does not own can remove his building. Otherwise, the building belongs to the landowner. No one can just take land by building on it in the state of Texas. In this case, to be examined is the integrity of the Texas state law and those who take an oath to uphold it. Since 2003, I have tried numerous times from several different engineers to obtain a land survey of our community property. I am unable to have one. Therefore, I am requesting a land survey of the north 20 acres of John H. Sherry, Lot 184, with all claims of ownership and the boundaries of the ownership and development defined and labeled. Also, that the survey be made open to the public. And I request my freedom from 16 years of police-enforced false imprisonment. Thank you for your time.
Next presenter is Dago Chavez. Thank you.
Good morning, County Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. My name is Dagoberto Chavez. I am from the Texas Attorney General's Office. I'm a state investigator with our regional headquarters. and I have the regional attorney here.
Morning, Judge, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
Esteemed Commissioners.
The reason we are here is because we want to go ahead and,
Would you mind raising that,
Yes, sir.
the mic? There you go.
the reason we're here today is to recognize and thank the precincts 2 and 4 for the commitment to working with the Attorney General's office. We do have some small tokens of appreciation that we would like to present them. And
Yes,
some
sir.
letters of recognition as well.
Call them up.
Did you say what numbers, 2 and 4?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me make sure, let me wait till Commissioner Precinct, can you call him?
To give you a little brief summary, sir, we started working with the precincts 2 and 4, and we established a partnership in working child support. They do some of our service, and they have been doing an excellent job. They show they do care about this community and the people here in Texas.
Very good.
Are we still waiting, Judge, or are we free to continue?
Yes, yes, please, go
Okay.
ahead. You got 5 minutes apiece.
Okay, we'll get through here. The first one is Constable Martin Cantu. And the second is Chief Deputy Armando Campos. Judge, I would reiterate to everybody that's here what a great job these gentlemen have done. As part of our job, we help children with the Attorney General's office, and these gentlemen have helped us by going out and finding delinquent parents and bringing them to court and helping us raise our service rates. So they've done an outstanding job. And we've got a certificate of appreciation for the Hidalgo County Precinct Number 2 for the office also. And then is this the same thing, the letter? And then we've got a letter, we're not going to take up the commission's time to present this, but we have a letter to each of the gentlemen, also personally thanking them for assisting the Attorney General's office. We got Precinct 4? Okay, the next is Precinct 4, Hidalgo County Precinct Number 4, Constable's Office. And again, we've got a certificate awarded to the entire Constable's Office. And then we've got a certificate to be awarded to Chief Deputy Joel Rivera and Constable Eddie Guerra. Again, they've done an outstanding job helping us with the overall mission of helping the children of the state of Texas, and more particularly the children of Hidalgo County. Again, we've got another letter, which is a letter of recognition that goes to all of the constables that have helped us out in that area. And then recently we had a Hidalgo County roundup where the Sheriff's Department went out and arrested a large number of people that we've been looking for a long time, and Dago can tell you, Mr. Chavez can tell you a little bit more about that.
Last year in October, we started working on a roundup for Hidalgo County. I want to point out that the Hidalgo County roundup was the most successful in the region and possibly the state of Texas. They demonstrated that they were willing to work with us hand in hand and have showed their commitment to the Texas Attorney General's office. They have set an example that everybody's trying to achieve, and I just want to recognize them for the work they did. We have since August of 2012 to August of 2013, we have over 262 people arrested for warrants that stem from child support. So they have done a tremendous job. They're there for us anytime we need. So I want to recognize the Sheriff's Department at this time as well.
We've got a certificate for... We've got a certificate addressed to Sheriff Lupe Trevino and another one to the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office for all the hard work you all have done for us. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. You want to just give them those?
Yes, sir. These are small tokens of appreciation also for the elected officials. Constable for Precinct 2. Constable for Precinct 4. Sheriff President, what we have?
Yeah, and I would just add for the record, this is the best partnership we've been involved in a long, long time. These gentlemen have done a great job, and I'd like to give them one more round of applause. Thank you. And thank you all, Judge, for letting us appear here. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Take a picture with the representatives. Okay. Thank you. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2. Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Judge, if I could just say a couple of words, I'll make it quick. I'd like to thank the Attorney General's office, Dago and Conrad, for having confidence and faith in us to come in and help them out with what we're doing. And I'd like to give credit where credit is due. I wouldn't be able to do what we're doing at Precinct 2 without the hard work and dedication of our deputies and our staff. So I give them all the credit, and they make us look good. They make Precinct 2 look good with the hard work and dedication that they do. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Again, this appreciation really goes out to the hard work of my deputies. They're the ones that actually go out there and find these people and serve them notice that they've got some court dates. We started this partnership back in beginning of the year. We started receiving the citations in April, and I really like to commend Dago and Conrad. They're in my office once a week and making sure everything goes smoothly. I also would like to tell the court that the district attorney's, the district clerk's office is about 5 months behind trying to work out all the kinks because since this is something new, we're just now starting to bill, and it's going to be quite a sum of money that the county of Hidalgo will start receiving based on these efforts that the deputies going out there and serving these citations. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, our next item, item number 6A, a resolution in honor of Eden Ramirez Jr., who is, what's his new position?
He was elected to a national post, if you give me one moment.
All right, so he achieved national recognition.
National recognition.
And we made it a practice of honoring people that have excelled, young people from our community in various areas such as singers, dancers, soccer players, boxers, and different areas. And we're very honored to have Mr. Ramirez here with us. And we want to encourage, whether they're Republican, Libertarian, whatever party that they may belong to, that to let us know and make us aware of any achievements that any of their young people may have accomplished.
Absolutely, Judge. I know your office and our office as well, the Public Affairs Office, is always wanting to get this information. So if anyone does have anyone to recognize, please contact us. So we are honoring Mr. Eden Ramirez Jr. today. He was elected this year to a national post as the president of the National Hispanic Caucus for the Young Democrats of America. And if I may ask him to join me at the podium, and Judge, if I may read the resolution.
Is Mr. Brian Winton here? I apologize, but we'll do it right after we're through with this, young man. I thought we had completed, and I was just counting again. Go ahead.
Resolution in honor of Eden Ramirez Jr. Whereas Mr. Eden Ramirez Jr. from Palmview, Texas, and native of the Rio Grande Valley in Hidalgo County, graduated from La Jolla High School in La Jolla, Texas in 2007, and continued his education by attending the University of Texas Pan American, where he obtained a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Political Science and History in 2012. And whereas throughout his educational and professional career, Ramirez has demonstrated an interest in public and community service, including promoting youth civic engagement, as well as volunteering and working for candidates for political office. Ramirez also worked in a public capacity in our very own Hidalgo County local government, having served as Hidalgo County's Public Affairs Specialist in the Hidalgo County Judge's Office Public Affairs Division. And whereas Ramirez is presently the Director of Communications and Public Relations for La Jolla Independent School District, where he directs all communication mediums within the district and serves as the public figure representing La Jolla ISD and its interest within the local community and the state. And whereas Ramirez served 2 years as Vice President of Finance for the Texas Young Democrats organization, where he maintained financial precision and integrity and conducted fundraising efforts. And whereas in August 2013, Ramirez was elected for a 2-year term as President of the National Hispanic Caucus for Young Democrats of America, the largest youth partisan political organization in the United States. More than 1,200 delegates from 47 states and territories convened to elect the organization's leadership and chose Ramirez unanimously. Ramirez will be in Washington at the end of this year to address issues affecting Hispanic youth, such as immigration, the DREAM Act, and voting rights. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby recognizes and congratulates Eden Ramirez Jr. on his election as President of the National Hispanic Caucus for Young Democrats of America, for the tremendous opportunity at hand to join in the national conversation on Hispanic issues, and for his drive and ambition to serve and represent his community in this capacity. Approved this 27th day of August, 2013.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Congratulations. And I know he probably has a few words, but I would like to introduce Ms. Michelle Villarreal at this time. She's representing our State Representative Oscar Longoria, and she would like to present something to Mr. Ramirez as well.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. On behalf of State Representative Oscar Longoria, we would like to present Mr. Eden Ramirez with a congratulatory certificate and a Texas flag. And we'd just like to say that being chosen the President of the National Hispanic Caucus for the Young Democrats of America is a tremendous honor, and we are delighted that they have chosen one of our very own here in the Rio Grande Valley. We wish him the best of luck during his tenure and couldn't be more proud to have him represent us at the national level. Congratulations.
Mr. Ramirez, do you want to address the court?
Yes, thank you, Commission, County Judge, for the recognition. I'm really humbled, actually, and I can't really express it because I think that the bigger honor is actually for the county. At the convention, immediately after the election, President Obama's senior advisor, Juan Sepulveda, was at the convention and immediately went into 3 meetings with him regarding immigration, regarding the DREAM Act, and regarding some of the voting situation that's happening here in Texas. And a lot of these issues began to be addressed. In addition, I was extended the invitation to go to Washington and join the conversation and the talks with leaders of both Republicans and Democrats in the House as they craft the legislation for immigration that's going to happen. So despite the fact that a Democrat organization gave me the opportunity, I don't think that it should be overlooked that the fact that a 23-year-old from Hidalgo County is just one person between the president and the county, as I'm working with President Obama's senior advisor to Hispanic Affairs on immigration and everything. So some of the things that I pressed on that I think are important for our county is, of course, the infrastructure for I-69 that's coming in here. I also talked about the investment in the economies and in a trade with Mexico and other countries in Latin America. And I also spoke about immigration and how it's affecting us in the Rio Grande Valley, and more importantly, the need for more people from the border of the country to be in the talks of immigration reform, as I think we're a little underrepresented when you look at the people talking about immigration who are actually from an immigrant area. So I think it's very exciting for Hidalgo County to have this opportunity, not because it's me, it could be anybody, but just for the sheer fact that someone from our county is now at these conversations also part of the table. So thank you all very much for this, and
there's anything I can do to help in this and carry on and dialogue our concerns, and I'd be more than proud and excited to do that conversation for you.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1 more.
All right, next item is item number 7. Oh, I'm sorry. Man, I keep wanting to forget. And I don't want to do that since you're bringing a check, I understand. Mr. Brian R.
Commissioner
Winton.
Court. My name's Brian Winton. I'm the refuge manager for Lower Rio Grande Valley Refuge. That's one of 2 national wildlife refuges in Hidalgo County. And on behalf of the U.S. government, I'm bringing the refuge revenue sharing check for 2012 for $94,026.
Oh, great.
Take it.
We need a
Mine
picture
needs to go to
though.
the treasurer.
Yeah.
What we want to deliver.
Yeah, I got it.
Precinct 2.
Smile. One more. There we go.
Thank you again. Next time I'll move you up to the front. Where's our treasurer?
We'll take care of the paperwork.
Thank you. Oye, bueno, put it in the precinct 2 account.
All right, now we move on to item number 7.
Thank you,
Mr.
Judge
Guerra?
Commissioners. There is no action under items 7A, 1, and 2 unless there's action to be taken further down the agenda. Item 7B, 1, 2, and 3, no action. Item 7C, Judge Commissioners, I'm asking acceptance of a settlement check from State Farm Insurance Company in the amount of $48.75. This is to settle an auto accident with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7D, I'm asking approval to accept the settlement check from T&D Solutions LLC and the amount of $4,420, and this will also settle a county property damage.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, item 7E is discussion, consideration, and possible approval of the proposed proposal from Montalvo Insurance Agency to extend the professional liability insurance coverage to include the Juvenile Probation Department Infirmary for the remainder of 2013.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, along with that, I'm also asking approval or a request that I be authorized to sign all the applicable information or documents that are needed in the application prior to us submitting this paperwork back to Montalvo Insurance.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carries.
And item 3 would be the request and approval of payment of the proposed insurance premium for the adjusted coverage with approval for the auditor's office to issue payment once audit procedures have been finalized.
But what's the amount?
Judge Commissioners, Monica, do you have that dollar amount? It's a prorated amount through the end of the year.
Well, I just want to make sure we put it in the
Yes.
record.
I apologize for that, Judge.
Sergio?
It's in the backup. It's loading, Judge. I guess it's the Wi-Fi. It's loading. 4,000.
50261.
50261.
Very good. All right.
542, I'm sorry, 542.
We have a motion and a second to approve payment. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And Judge, item F, I'm asking consideration approval of an order regulating parking in county-owned lots and providing for towing and storage of unauthorized parked vehicles. Judge, Commissioners, this goes along with respect to maintaining our county parking lots. As a bit of a background, we did have, as of late, we have had some issues with vehicles.
With who?
With vehicles being parked overnight, and which is becoming an issue. They see a vacant lot, for whatever reason, they'll park there and they stay there overnight. The problem is, or that's part of the problem, it's a continued problem in the sense that we've actually identified a couple, 2, 3 vehicles that have been on our lots for 2, 3 days in a row. They're just locked up. So I'm asking, I'm asking approval of this order so that we can get the word out that the parking lot is for county business.
All right. Any questions?
You're going to post signage at the
Yes, no,
parking
we will get all
lots
the appropriate
preemptively, let them
signage. We'll do
understand?
preemptive, we'll work with Karina's office. We'll make sure that everybody's well informed, and we will be working with our constable's office.
Sometimes, Mother, there's events at the museum. I mean, we're not talking about that kind of parking.
No. No, we're talking about where a vehicle is literally, for lack of using a better word, abandoned for a short period of time.
All right.
Can the constable do that, Valero?
I'm sorry?
Can the constable tag him and
Yes, but there has to be an order, there has to be an authority behind it.
Do I hear a motion either way?
Is this to address what, Walter?
This is to address unauthorized parked vehicles on our property. And when I say unauthorized vehicles, I'm talking about vehicles that are parked there and they're left there. This is not
Talking
a...
about
Judge,
Yes, sir.
Commissioners, if I may, what we've come across is, there's a gap in the code. The code says that if a vehicle is left on a public roadway for more than 72 hours or 48 hours, depending on the year of the vehicle, then it can be deemed a nuisance or a danger and be towed away. When it's on a public parking lot without any types of rules or regulations, then we really have no authority to do anything with that vehicle, and it can remain there. So what we're coming across is the vehicles are coming and parking, they're not registered, we cannot possibly find their owner because they haven't been registered for years. For example, a particular vehicle that was bought at auction was taken to the tax office for registration. There was a gap in the paperwork. The people were unable to register it, and it's sat there for weeks. Potentially, for whatever reason, there's a multitude of reasons why we need to move that vehicle.
So what are the hours that people are not going to be able to park there?
Judge, the order would read that unauthorized vehicles parked in reserved parking spaces, lots between the hours of 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Those are our normal operation hours. 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. are normal operation hours. Okay, 7 a.m. given so that people can, the staff and everybody gets there early for the start of the day. Then we have unauthorized vehicles parking in county lots between the hours of 6 p.m. and 7 a.m., Sunday through Saturday. That's that would cover the rest of the evening.
All right. How do we give them authority to let the people park there that are attending some event?
Well, typically, Judge, just so you know, that the way we would operate or we would handle the situation is we would take note of the vehicle that's being there. We would enter into our dispatch log, and once it's sat there for sufficient time to satisfy the officers that, hey, this vehicle has been in fact abandoned, then we would do it.
All right.
Taking into consideration the operational hours that Mr. Guerra's talked about, we can say, hey, it's been there during the prohibited time, and we've logged it down in our dispatch logs, and then we can remove the vehicle accordingly.
Any other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion either way.
Steve, where do we stand on that?
I believe the officer explained it well, is there is a gap in the statute. The statute addresses unauthorized vehicles parked on public roadways. but if there's unauthorized vehicles parked in parking lots, there has to be, the governing body that owns a parking lot has to have regulations in place so that an unauthorized vehicle can be removed from the parking lot. And that's all this is doing.
Is this a big problem, Walter?
I'm sorry?
Is it a big problem, or do we have a?
As of late, Commissioner, we've had a couple of instances.
Valde, is it in specific areas, or are we talking all county parking lots?
No, this would, this order.
Well, we're
would
having a
rec-
problem.
Well, right now, the problem that we were having is specifically to our area here in Edinburgh, here in Precinct 4. But the order itself is a county-wide order. And so this would, this order would pertain to all county parking lots.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may add, this is essentially a tool that will allow the constables to deal with a situation like that. I don't think there's any intent by passing this order to go on a towing rampage. Certainly, I know in Constable Precinct 4, when employees are staying late or they have a reason to stay late, they don't need to be worried about their cars being towed. I think it would be common for them to just let the constable know that they're going to be there. If somebody works late, I don't think there's going to be a pulling of the trigger of sorts to tow that vehicle. This is situations where the vehicle has been there during 2 unauthorized periods or more. Without this tool, we cannot deal with that situation in any of the parking lots in the county. Right now, we have an order that covers the old administration parking lot. We just want to expand the order to deal with the other parking lots in the county. And certainly would recommend passing of the order.
And Judge, Commissioners, and I want to add, Victor is correct, I have gotten phone calls, I have contacted the Chief Deputy from Constable Precinct 4, where an employee has contacted me saying that their vehicle didn't want to start for whatever reason, it's parked in the parking lot. I've talked to Joey, they log it, I get confirmation, and I let the employee know, don't worry, it's not going to be towed. But we do get phone calls letting us know from our county employees, for whatever reason, that the vehicle is going to be there overnight, and 9 times out of 10, it's a mechanical problem with respect to our county employees.
Judge, in reference to this last vehicle, the vehicle was left there for probably about 15 days. My office kept getting calls to have the vehicle removed.
Right.
I wouldn't tow it because there was I have no authority to tow it because there's no order from Commissioner's Court establishing the parameters of how a vehicle can be left on county property. We also have, when employees go out of town on county business and they leave their vehicles parked on the county property, they always come and let us know that this vehicle is going to stay there 3 or 4 days. We log it in, we know exactly where the vehicle is. We try to have them parked with our cameras or able to pan those vehicles for security reasons. Again, we just don't go on a towing wrapping page to tow vehicles off the county property. It's just the authority giving us or the order giving us authority to tow it when we need to tow it.
Yes. And any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion either way.
Judge, if the motion is to approve this, if you can approve it as modified.
So move as
Modified and what?
I'm making a change in the ordinance that was given to us.
Second.
What's that change going to be?
What the change is was addressed by Mr. Guerra. It's going to read, except as authorized by the Executive Office of Hidalgo County.
All right, those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Next item, 8, our constables.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I have 2 items, the first one being 8A, authorization and approval to accept a grant amendment for additional funding and to accept an extension for the 2013 Local Border Security Program, grant through February 28th, 2014, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions, approval and certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the Local Border Security Program for the fiscal year 2013, approval to appropriate additional funds for the Local Border Security Program fiscal year 2013, grant award in amount of $10,000, new total award amount of $45,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The second item, gentlemen, is item 8B, which is approve, accept, and extension for the 2012 Local Border Security Program grant through February 20th, 2014.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Morning, Judge Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
Today I have two items also. Authorization to approve and accept an extension for 2012 Local Border Security Program, LSBP grant through February 28, 2014.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And authorization to approve to accept an extension for the 2013 Local Border Security Program, LBSP grant through February 28, 2014.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in
Thank you.
favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Good morning, Joel Rivera, Chief Deputy for Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4, on behalf of Constable Guerra. Agenda item number 40374, approval to accept the extension for the 2012 Local Border Security Program grant through February 28, 2014.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Agenda item number 40377 is also a Local Border Security Program agenda item, and it's related to
1, 2, 3, and 4 are all the same.
Yes,
Are related.
they're similar.
Second.
Aye, those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries as to F, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Got it.
Thank you, sir. Item 9, Sheriff's Office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Richard is in the Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County. On behalf of Sheriff Lupe Trevino, 9A is approval to process the following at and T invoices as claims with the authority for the county treasurer to issue a check after auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor. This account number is 512-151-5019-861-4, the amount of $6,379.10.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 10, our District Clerk.
Judge Commissioners, there is no action on item 10A.
All right. Item 11, our Health Department.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 10A is discussion, consideration, correction, approval of business associates agreement between Texas Health Systems and Hidalgo County Health and Human Services, sir. Let me just read this real quick. The purpose of this agreement is to enable the parties to comply with the applicable requirements of HIPAA and the HIPAA regulations in the HITECH Act, which deals with protected health information and including and not limited to electronic protected health information. All this is compliance with HIPAA, exchange of information between hospitals, physicians, and public health. This has been reviewed by legal counsel.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 11B, sir, is pursuant to Chapter 121 Local Public Health Recognition Act, Section 121.006, requesting approval for the fully payable, full pay schedule of fees to be effective 9/1/13. These are fees we charge to our clients that come to our clinic, sir. We revise this every year, and this is our revision for this year, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The filing item, sir, this is, this year, the State of Texas Department of State Health Services went to bundling of contracts and e-contracts. The State of Texas is going that way. In fact, you'll be seeing a lot of these in the future for all the other areas that deal with state funding. So there's a long list of information here. The county judge's office is the the county judge is in charge of making sure that the e-filing of this takes place, so we're working with your office on that, Judge. So item C is requesting approval to accept the LSS LPHS RLS Local Public Health System Grant, contract number 2014-001052-00, in the amount of $102,403 for the period of 9/1/2013 to 8/31/2014.
Eddie, with the 1 through 9 are related?
Yes, I could read 1 through 9, sir, and then we could just take action at once. Would that be permissible, sir?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
go ahead.
Okay. Item 2 is requesting approval of the county judge to e-sign their RLSS LPHS contract. Item 3, requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign the certification regarding lobbying statements. Item 4 is requesting approval of the county judge to sign the e-certification professional services contract not hiring former or retired state agency employees statement. Item 5, requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign the child support agreement certification, which does not apply to the county, but the state requires that. Requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign the fiscal federal funding accountability and transparency act certification. Item 7, requesting approval of the certification of revenue in the amount of $102,403. Number 8 is requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $102,403. And number 9, requesting approval of salary schedules as indicated for these grants.
Move for approval. 1 through 9.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, sir. The next item is TB control. I'm requesting approval to accept the TB-PC State Tuberculosis Prevention Control Contract number 2014-001417-00 in the amount of $664,963 for the period of 9/1/2013 through 8/31/2014. Item 2 is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign the TBPSC state contract, requesting approval. Item 3 is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign certification regarding the lobbying statement. Item 4 is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign the fiscal federal funding accountability and transparency act certification statement. Item 5 is requesting approval of the certification of the revenue in the amount of $664,963. Item 6 is requesting the approval of budget appropriations in the amount of $664,963 from state funds in the amount of $169,218 from local match. And item 7, sir, I'm going to have to read that separately, but item 1 through 6.
1 through 6, need a motion to approve?
Second.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Judge, I'm sorry, Mr. O'Neill. Judge Commissioners, with the court's permission, I'm requesting to delay items 7 and 8 till next week. The creation and the approval of the salary schedule thereafter, so that we can meet with Ms. Cortez.
Yes, sir, that's fine. The only thing, sir, is that once we come back next week and bring it to court, we need to turn around and get these positions hired as soon as possible. These are 100 grant-funded positions. It does not impact general fund.
Right.
All right, we'll have it on next week.
Thank
We're
you.
on to
Item A, and A, 7 and 8 for next week then, Mr. Guerra?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no action on 7 and 8.
7 and 8, yes, thank you.
We'll move on to the next item, TB elimination federal, requesting approval to accept the TBPC Fed Tuberculosis Prevention Control Contract 2014-001400-00 in the amount of $279,480 for the period of 9/1/2013 through 8/31/2014. Item 2, requesting approval for the judge to e-sign TBPC federal contract. Item 3, requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign certification regarding local lobbying statement. Item 4 is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign the fiscal federal funding accountability and transparency act certification statement. Item 5, requesting approval of certification of revenue in the amount of $279,480. Item 6 is requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $279,480 for federal funds in the amount of $91,746 from local match, sir. And then item 7 is requesting approval of the salary schedule as indicated for the TB Fed.
Move for approval 1 through 7.
Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item, immunization, sir. IMM Locals Immunization Branch Grant, requesting approval to accept the IMM Locals Immunization Branch Contract number 2014-000022-00 in the amount of $49,320 for the period of 9/1/2013 through 8/31/2014. Item 2, requesting approval of the county judge to e-sign the IMM local grant contract. Item 3, requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign certification regarding lobbying statement. Item 4, requesting approval of the county judge to e-sign fiscal federal funding accountability and transparency act certification statement. Item 5, requesting approval of the certification of revenue in the amount of $649,320. And item 6 is requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $649,320.
Move for approval 1 through 6.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is immunization program income. Number 1, requesting approval of the certification of revenue amount of $125,000 for immunization program income. Number 2 is requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $125,000. And number 3, requesting approval of salary schedules indicated for that program income.
Move for approval 1 through 3.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next item, sir, is the CPS Hazards PHEP grant, requesting approval to accept the CP Hazards Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant, contract number 2014-001134-00, in the amount of $587,198 for a period of 9/1/2013 through 8/31/2014. Number 2 is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign CPS Hazards PHEP contract. Number 3 is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign certification lobbying statement. Number 4 is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign the fiscal federal funding accountability and transparency act certification statement. Number 5 is requesting approval of certification of revenue in the amount of $587,198. Number 6 is requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $587,198 from state funds in the amount of $58,719 in local match. And number 7, requesting approval for salary schedule as indicated.
Move for approval of 1 through 7.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Sir, this adds up to over $2.3 million. The Hidalgo County Health and Human Services team, starting with Ms. Lydia Serna and Ms. Eva Robles and Ms. Nancy Trevino, along with a myriad of other team members, Michael Scaramé, helped get funding for this year. Sir, may I move on to item D?
Eddie, you do an impeccable job and always working on all those grants.
Well, thank you, sir. We have a wonderful team, and we have a really good team and a lot of participation and support from Budget Office, Auditor's Office, and Ms. Garcia's office, County Treasurers. They work really well with us and make it very good.
Thank you for your hard work.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Item D.
D.
Requesting approval to process the following invoice as a claim for county treasurer, with authority for county treasurer to issue a check after auditing procedures are completed by county auditor. It's for Verizon Telephone, $295.98. This has been reviewed by Mr. Ramirez's office and IT, and this is part of the procedures we're going through until all this gets taken care of.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E is requesting approval for Hidalgo County Treasurer's Office and Payroll Division to continue payroll for employees currently paid by Title V, Child Health, and parental grant contracts, which will end August 31st, 2013. The request is to continue, I'm sorry, there's some talk in the background that's interfering with what I was saying. The request is continuing payroll from 9/1/13 until FY14, Title V, Child Health and Parent prenatal grants, contracts are received and accepted by county commissioners. We have a letter of approval from the state coming that the contract has been issued to us. The only thing is their contract is running about 3 days late, 4 days late, so
And
we'll
our
go
general
beyond the
fund will be
31st.
reimbursed when it does come in.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next item is requesting approval to accept the interlocal agreement with the University of Texas Pan American. The purpose of this agreement is to have a UTPA assist with administering a $500 scholarship fund by the Office of Border Health. This has been reviewed by legal and has been accepted, sir. There's going to be a small scholarship given to some participation in some public health information and education programs that are sponsored by our county health department.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under item G1, sir, Health Care Funding District, under G1, I have no action or discussion unless you all have any questions.
All right, thank you, sir.
I got under H1, under indigent healthcare, discussion and action including but not limited to indigent healthcare programs, 1115 waiver, sir. I have no action or discussion or questions, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
There's no action on 12A either. Thank you very much, Eddie. Item 13, our HIDA Task Force. Anyone here? Balde, do you want to present it?
Yes, Judge. Actually, this is to process the following ATT invoices as claims. Again, as always, it's with authority for the county treasurer to issue payment and check after auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor. The vendors are AT&T again, account numbers 956-381-0444-7233. And the two billing dates in question are June 9th of this year and July 9th of this year, 176.51 and 171.01 respectively.
Move for approval.
Need a second? Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries. Our Urban County Program.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Good morning.
Our first item on the agenda is a request on behalf of the City of Mercedes requesting a program amendment. The proposed amendment will add a sanitary sewer improvement line to the already approved water and sewer improvement activity in the amount of $76,987. There will be no budgetary changes.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Our next item is requesting that Hidalgo County Commissioners Court rescind the action taken on July 9th, 2013, which approved a best and final negotiating contract with professional architectural services with Alcocer Garcia and Associates in the amount of $6,400.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is a request also on behalf of the City of Benitez requesting the approval of a best and final negotiated contract for professional architectural services with Alcocer Garcia and Associates with an edited statement concerning the Texas Board of Architectural Examiners. The contract would be in the amount of $6,400.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Our next item is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code 262.024.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is a presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of at least 3 engineering firms from the county's approved pool as graded and evaluated by the City of Alamo, the Urban County Program, and the Purchasing Department. The 3 firms evaluated are Quintanilla Headley and Associates with a grade of 97.67, R. Gutierrez Engineering with a grade of 96.34, and R.E. Garcia and Associates with a grade of 90. Would you like to rank them in that order?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is authority to negotiate a professional service contract with the number 1 ranked firm of Quintanilla Headley and Associates.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, I'm requesting that we open up a public hearing to consider public
All right,
comments.
at this time, we're convening a public hearing to consider public comments for the Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1's proposed budget and program amendment for fiscal years 23, 24, and 25, which are 2010, 2011, and 2012. Original work plans and forfeited funds for a street. Improvements activity that would include additional locations, Victoria Road and Old La Blanca Road, and project descriptions. Anyone here desire to speak in favor of or in opposition? All right. And no one here? All right, at this time, we're going to close the public hearing and proceed.
Yes, Judge Commissioners, the county precinct would like to work on Victoria Road and Old La Blanca Road. They currently have a street improvement line item, and all we're doing is requesting that we add this item onto the activity.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I believe that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 15, our elections office.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Karina is handing out the elections that will start tomorrow. We have 4 special elections that will commence, Election Day being on the 14th of September. We are, in fact, running at Couch Elsa ISD, but we also have the City of Edinburgh, Edinburgh CISD, and La Villa. And what's very important about these 4 elections taking place is that we will be implementing voter ID. And so your second handout is a PowerPoint put out by the Secretary of State that clearly outlines the 7 forms of voter identification that will be acceptable. But under each of these, for example, the military and the Department of Defense, they also break down. So we had training to start this past Saturday and also this Monday, and we worked very, very hard to make sure that the political subdivisions that are running elections are clearly informed and ready to proceed. I did put out an email to the state TAC to see if we are in fact one of the first, and I know we are one of the first, but I don't know if we are the first county to have this acceptable voter ID put into place. So I will be informing you, but this is something for you to look over, and if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to contact me. There are various forms that have changed. Statute has now put various, we have to change some of our forms, like the provisional ballot. We have to implement new forms, and so we're in the process of doing that.
Have any of the lawsuits had a hearing?
None
I know
of
there's
them.
2 lawsuits that have been filed.
I spoke at length with the new director, Ashley Fisher, from the Secretary of State's Legal Department on Friday, and she said that as soon as they know, we will know. But we are to proceed and just follow through until we hear or have further notice. So any
All right.
questions that you may have, please contact me.
Are people gonna, I mean, if you've got Mary Garza showing up to vote, but now her name is Mary Flores because she married, that does not comply with the requirement, does it?
Well, actually, we went at length and trained our workers that similar names or changes in names are not reasons to turn a voter away. We and the state and the statute implements that every voter that has an ID, whether the name is exact, similar, or there are differences, are to be afforded a provisional ballot, and the back of the provisional envelope has changed. And now there will be a cure period that is 6 days after Election Day, in which they come to the voter registrar, which is to come to my office, and there we will, in depth, research everything. But just because a name is different is not a reason to turn them away. It has to be an identification of completeness. The photo, the date of birth, the address, the name, of course.
They will be allowed to vote, but only on a provisional ballot?
Yes, sir. If there are differences, and in fact, our combination form, which is where the voter signs, has now changed, so that there is an indication that there is a similar name. The person would have to sign an affidavit saying that this is in fact who I am. And so they will not be turned away just because there are differences or slight variations or variations in their ID and their voter database name. In fact, they will be given an opportunity to quickly change and match to the voter ID if so they choose. They don't have to. They don't have to, but they will be given a choice to do that so that
What
the
about
ID...
student IDs for people that vote at the school?
No, sir. No student IDs are acceptable. That is not one of the 7 forms. And again, they will be afforded a provisional ballot and an opportunity to come to my office during this cure period, as they call it, to present ID.
Mr. Alonso, in order for the vote to count, the person has to come to your office?
I'm
later
sorry,
on?
sir?
So the person will be allowed to vote using a provisional ballot, right?
That's correct, sir. And then 6 days after Election Day, my office will be available for them to come and present the ID if in fact they didn't have it with them during the time that they were voting.
So if the person doesn't come to your office, their vote will not count, right?
Exactly.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I didn't hear that. If they don't make it to your office within 6 days, they're not going to count? It won't count.
Yes, sir, because now the law says that they must have shown a voter ID with an acceptable form of a voter ID with a picture, of course. And so they're given the week after Election Day and between the hours of 8 to 5 in my office. Any other questions that you may have, please don't hesitate to contact me, because we all want to be informed and want to be able to give the correct information as we proceed. This will be something very different. Okay, item 15B is approval of full contract for election services between Hidalgo County and the Ed Couch Elsa Independent School District for their election to be held on September 14th, 2013.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 15C, approval of lease contract for election services between Hidalgo County and the La Villa Independent School District for their election to be held on September 14th.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 16A,
Judge, I'm going to allow Linda Fong to present that item, but we have
Yes.
finished doing our reevaluation of 2013 revenues. And also, we have finished our 2014 computation of the revenues that are going to be available for appropriation this next budget year.
thank you.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Yes, as part of our process for estimating the available revenue sources for the following year, for year 2014, what we look at, we have to project ending fund balances of the current year. And that process entails looking at all revenue accounts and determining whether our original revenues were estimated appropriately and if there's any additional revenue sources that we need to certify. And there are additional revenue sources for the general fund, $292,605.41 in the general fund. In special revenue funds, there were $704,868.54. And in debt service funds, $3,879.55 of additional revenue sources. And we're requesting approval on item 1 of the 2013 certification of new revenue sources.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The second item, which is the presentation of the statement of estimated available resources for year 2014, and that's pursuant to section 111.063 of the Texas Local Government Code. I believe you all have the book that was just passed out. Estimated available revenue sources include both the projected ending fund balance and also 2014 projections, revenue projections. For the general fund, the 2013 projected ending fund balance is $23,075,237. This amount includes the $292,605.41 of new revenue sources, which we just approved. And if these additional revenue sources are appropriated, projected ending fund balance will decrease to $22,782,631.72. The 2013 projected ending fund balance for the general fund represents 12% of currently appropriated expenditures and transfers out. If Commissioners Court approves the use of fund balance to balance the 2014 budget, the percent will likely decrease below the county's required minimum of 10%. Estimated revenues for year 2014 for the general fund, excluding property taxes and other financing sources, are $21,304,104. This is an increase of $1,453,378 compared to last year's projections. In addition, we are estimating an increase in the collection rate from 94 to 94.5%. So if the county adopts a 59-cent tax rate for 2014, total estimated revenues for the general fund will be $166,283,522.
What is that for 2014, Linda?
Yes.
166,283,522?
As revenue sources not including the fund balance, the projected ending fund balance.
Right.
So total estimated available resources, fund balance and revenues, other revenues would be $189,358,759.
And the 166,283,522?
It's just the revenues, the
Right.
estimated revenues, adding 59-cent
Well, what
collection.
is the increase from the prior year? About $5 million?
Yes,
So you will have $5 million more revenues this year, Judge, than last year. Now, I think you have like a $15 million shortfall, so this is not going to be able to cover the entire shortfall.
Okay, this was just a presentation, I don't think it requires any action.
Yeah, and I think also you're already approved the 59 cents tax rate. So what that means, you're going to have to reduce appropriations this year in order to cover the shortfall. I think the fund balance as of the end of 2013 is about 12%, you said?
Yes, the estimated fund balance.
No,
We're
the
projecting,
the
yeah, because
estimated fund
we
balance.
assume though that all appropriations are going to be spent.
And the county has a policy that a goal to have between 10 and 15% fund balance. So you don't have a lot of room to be able to tap into the fund balance to comply with the policy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
So you want approval of just the presentation, Linda? There's no approval required?
No.
Okay.
Item 17, Precinct 3.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
Item 17A, requesting authorization for Hidalgo County to execute the interlocal agreement between the City of Mission, the City of McAllen, and the County of Hidalgo for improvements to Taylor Road from US 83 Expressway North to 1,300 feet north of Dove. Number 2, accepting...
Second.
Judge,
Okay.
I got a couple of comments on that particular item. 17A, funding is not in place for this project, number 1. And number 2 is, it appears that City of Palmhurst is within the boundaries of the project, but they're not included in the interlocal.
If I may, Mission's taking the fiduciary duty, as a fiduciary agent, along with the cooperative effort of all the parties that Migo had just identified. It doesn't mean that they won't come to the table, but at this point, they're a minority stakeholder in it. We're taking the lead on it since we're seeking construction dollars for it. On the funding source, we are working with budget and requesting if we can approve it subject to funding, because we believe we have I guess, the account that we're going to be utilizing.
So the approval would be subject to funding?
Subject to funding, and allow budget to do their part.
We had to do a little switch, and we're having to basically relook at the precinct's budget. These funds would have to come from road and bridge funds, so that's why we had originally thought of using CO funds that the precincts have available. However, we've gotten preliminary notice that CO funds would not be able to be used for this project, so we're having to go back and
So what are you saying about
have
City
to
of Palmhurst
reappropriate.
issues?
Sergio, when you say precinct budget,
Correct.
what precincts are you talking about?
We're looking at precincts 2, precincts 3, and precincts 4. They all have, their precinct lines are within this road project. So those are the
I
precincts
know
we're looking.
that we lie within the geographic area,
Correct.
but I have not been briefed on the expenditures in terms of what it means to the precinct.
Right now on the interlocal, it's stated that the county's going to come up with 390,000. The
I
initial
believe the majority of that was going to be coming from precinct 3. I
Three.
think-
Now, being the fact that it runs between two other precincts, Precinct 4 is committing 100,000, and we're requesting the Precinct 2 consider some involvement if he'd wish. If not, then obviously we're going to roll with whoever we got going with us. Similar to Palmhurst, we're hoping that they can become a partner. What's happening is most of the thoroughfares that are on the precinct lines, city lines, are the ones that are most neglected. Owasso being another one, which...
I'm totally in favor of the project. The concern that I'm expressing is in terms, I need to be in the loop. And
Yes, sir.
simply what I'm
Yes, sir.
asking is to be included in whatever is being discussed about the project. So,
Mr. Varela? Yeah. Perfect.
So,
Will you coordinate?
Request from Commissioner
Approval
Palacios is to-
subject to funding, Judge.
Yes.
well, if the precinct won't participate in the project, obviously, I want to be kept in the loop.
Well, Commissioner, we'd like your involvement in it, being the fact that it is a good project. It's part of your precinct. We want to include you in the deal. I think that in the interim, they should present to Commissioner Palacios. Hopefully, we can get an approval on the interlocal at least and get it moving forward. In the interim.
Subject to funding, no problem.
All right,
So
so,
the funding is one issue. Now, I'm still not clear on Palmhurst. You're saying that you were hoping that they'll become a partner?
Well, at this point, they're not. They haven't came up with any, as far as I know, I had not met with them personally at this point in time, but being the fact of all the different entities have already committed the financial burden, I don't know if they'll come in at the end, but we're going to, regardless if they're in or out, we got to move forward on the project.
All right.
Yeah, Commissioner,
We got a motion.
My understanding is that the city of
thing
Palmdale
is
was
that
not going to
the city is
participate on this
within
phase.
I mean, the project encompasses city of Palmdale, so you're gonna have to either bring them in or
Well,
adjust the boundaries of the project.
Or recognize they're part of the boundaries, but they're not participating.
Right.
No, but I think in order for you to do work within the city limits, you have to get an interlocal with the city.
I think that that's the intent, is to have the interlocal. They're just not going to have a monetary contribution. They're involved in the project.
Yes, I believe for the construction portion of it, I believe that's when the city of Palmhurst was going to be brought into the project. I believe right now we're looking at the environmental assessment, and I believe at that point, the city of Palmhurst is not going to be participating in that.
Yeah.
All
But I
right,
guess
gentlemen.
it's a question for legal. Is it proper, Steve, for court to work within the city limits of a
Well,
city?
the question is, right now, is having to do with the approval of the interlocal. At the time that the construction starts, they'll have to get a consent from Palmhurst for us to go in and do work within the city limits of
Actual
Palmhurst.
construction work.
Right, actual
Correct.
construction.
All right, we have a motion to approve item 17A, 1 and 2 in a second. Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
And 2 is also included in there? 1 and
Item
2?
18,
1 and 2.
Yes.
A, precinct 4.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Joe Cho, Hidalgo County Precinct 4 Right-of-Way Department. Here on item 18A, I know Mr. Ofracio had some issues or concerns.
Well, yeah, the concern was that the supporting documentation said that this item was approved on August 20th. I cannot locate any evidence to that
Yes, sir.
effect.
I don't know if the Commission may recall, last week in executive session, we did take
we
action on
can't
this
go
while there.
into-
I don't know if when we reconvened an open session.
We
Mr.
discussed it,
Crane?
and we discussed it last week in executive session, and we gave instructions to put it on the agenda for today because there was not an item on the agenda today for approval in open session.
Okay. Because, again, supporting documentation said otherwise, but, so today we approved, or are you going to discuss it in closed session, or approve it now, or?
Correct.
So move.
Second.
Those in
No, what was the
favor,
amount?
say aye.
Can you read out the amount of the appraised value versus the,
Yes, sir, the appraised value,
Not the appraised? No, not the appraised value.
This-
You're going to read the offer value.
okay, let me just read it out. Consideration approval to purchase a certain tract of land, also known as parcel 15, for the Trenton Drainage Project in the amount of $5,600.
now, $5,600?
$5,600.
That's the offer amount?
That's correct.
Okay. What is the appraised value?
That will be in the backup.
I'm asking gentlemen a question.
I understand what you're asking.
You cannot
I'm saying
answer?
He will provide you a copy of the appraisal.
All right. We have a motion and a second to approve item 18A. Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Item 19, our budget office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners, Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget and Management. Item 19A, we're requesting to hold a public hearing to consider the public input and commentary regarding the proposed Hidalgo County franchise rural solid waste collection program. If the court could open that public hearing, just to hear comments from the public
You
as
mean
far as...
right today?
Yes, sir.
Did you give notice to people?
We posted it on the agenda. There's really there's no statute that requires... Excuse me?
Well, let's see what happens. Is there anyone here? We're going to convene a public hearing to consider public input and commentary regarding the proposed Hidalgo County franchise rural solid waste collection program. Anyone here that desires to speak in favor of or against? Yes, sir.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
My name is Abraham Quiroga. We're with Quality Waste Management Company out of Edinburgh, Texas. My brother and I, Joe Quiroga, started this company a couple of years ago. We grew up in the county, saw the need for it.
What is your name again, please?
Abraham Quiroga, Q-U-I-R-O-G-A. My brother and I grew up in Edinburgh. Our weekends usually consisted of going down to the collection site on Doolittle Road to throw our trash for the week. So we saw there was a need for this. A couple of years ago, we got together and put in some of our money to start Quality Waste. And over the last 2 years, we've seen a tremendous growth. And we see that there's a big need for this in the county. We feel that there's obviously, like I said, a big need for this. We think that allowing the companies to basically go out and compete for customers is the right way to do it. Again, like I said, we've seen a big growth in the last 2 years. We've held off on growing this last year because of what's pending with the county, so we've kind of held off on buying containers and going out there and making additional sales. Currently, we approximate that all the independent companies in Hidalgo County, we probably service about 20,000 customers roughly, which is about 8,000 short of the 50% goal that the county has in mind. So we're not against closing the sites. We think that there is the right way to do it, and we basically want to offer our advice to work with the county to make sure that the program gets implemented the right way. The last thing we want to see is trash all over the streets, tires all over the streets. Like I said, and at the same time, we don't want to hurt the county residents. We know some of them are at a poverty level that's pretty low. So, like I said, again, we want to work with the county, provide our input as far as what we feel is the best way to do. I know there was a franchise fee that was discussed. Again, like I said, if that's the way to go in order for the county to acquire some revenues, we're obviously willing to do some of that. Again, there's quite a bit of us, small companies, I guess you could say, compared to some of these national companies. We've all kind of talked and met over the last couple of weeks, and we figured if we all join together and provide what we feel is the best proposal for the county. Like I said, I think we can definitely accomplish something that's good. We like the opportunity to continue to service the county residents. We would prefer not to have boundaries or be bound to a certain district, and that's kind of the angle that we're coming from. Is if y'all do decide to close these collection sites, that's fine, but just let us service throughout the county and let us determine, if we want to go down all the way to Las Milpas or if I want to go all the way west to Mission or north to Edinburgh. So, again, like I said, we wanted to give our input. If y'all need more advice or if y'all like to meet with us, I said we're more than open to do that. So, thank you. I don't know if y'all have any questions for me.
I was given the opportunity to sit down with your brother yesterday, and I fully better understood that there are vendors throughout the county. We just haven't done, I guess we need to do more of a workshop and figure out how we can modify our approach. The county's only looking at it from a budget standpoint on reducing our costs that we incur on tipping fees for the disposal of trash. In no way are we trying to affect the business owner whatsoever. We're trying to figure out a median, or find some concessions there. Our ultimate goal is obviously to dispose of trash. We don't want it end up in our ditches or streets or anything like that. But I think that working with the other commissioners and the judge to figure out the best resolution to assure that we don't affect local businesses, and at the end of the day, we're ultimately getting the trash where it needs to get.
Yeah.
In my area, I have to figure out how it's going to affect the city of Edinburgh as well, because currently they're the ones that we dispose trash to. If we go open, will that affect them as well on the tipping? So I do agree that we need to band together, figure out how it's going to be best for all. I'm going to encourage other commissioners and the judge for us to get closer together and figure out, a resolution on what would be best for the county and the taxpayer, obviously, ultimately.
And there's some larger companies that would be able to compete in this. We feel that even though we're one of the smaller players, we feel that we can compete, capital-wise. We do have some sources that we can go to and purchase additional trucks or containers. But we also know there's some smaller companies that may not be able to, they would basically be out of a business. There's a small company that we know here in Edinburgh that is basically one gentleman. He does everything from sell the containers to pick them up and drive the truck. So someone like that, he'd definitely be out of business. I said, we feel confident in our business. We strive ourselves in service, and that's how we set ourselves aside from some of these larger companies, is providing the best service possible at a low cost. Because we do know our demographics. Like I said, but again, we're willing to work with you all. If we can provide any type of advice, from our daily operations and what we do on a daily basis, we'd be more than willing to do that. And work with you all. Like I said, to provide the best program for our county. said, growing up in Edinburgh, I'd hate to see our county roads, my parents still live out in the county, I'd hate to see our county roads littered with trash and tires and all types of appliances and everything, so.
Well, we got here in the first place, we got here because we were being proactive on cleaning up the community by designating areas where they can dispose their trash. Obviously, we went from a couple permit holders to thousands now. Just in the precinct 4 area, we have over, I think it's about 14 or 15,000 permit holders. I never thought, I have a hard time believing that we go cold turkey and ultimately just go with the one vendor. I think it could be problematic altogether. So I've always encouraged a step process to getting to the point where the county itself reduces the cost of disposal and figure out how we can promote other businesses to get involved for trash collection. A lot of times, if you stand there on a given day at our collection sites, you can see trucks coming in with containers.
Yeah.
And it's not just from one household, and it's very hard for us to stop a truck and say you can't dispose here, which we're considering it commercial trash because they're charging other residents for that type of service, no different. And so, because if we turn them away, that trash is gonna end up where we don't want it to end up. So we gotta go through the cost of staff and equipment to go pick up the trash, so. We got to figure out the medium ground where we're not going to affect the business community, and at the same time, we're going to get the trash where it needs to, at no cost, obviously, at a reduced cost to the county and a better service to the constituent. So it's a daunting task.
I said, and you're going to have those customers who want that container at their home. You know, we were very surprised. We basically went door to door knocking on people's doors and see who wanted a container, and we're very surprised with the response that we got. You know, we had some older individuals who said, you know what, I'm tired of loading up my truck and going out there to dump it.
Yeah, and here's a legal question that I have. We understand who our permit holders are, and Judge, I'm going to encourage Steve Crane to look into it. We know who our customers are at this point in time are disposing. We know the frequency that they're coming. What keeps us from turning over that data to a potential vendor that can go and door to door? And ultimately, it's going to affect the amount of trash that comes to our collection site because they're going to be providing the service to the constituent. Why couldn't we look at that as an approach, as a step approach, so that we can reduce the amount of trash we're disposing, which is going to lower our tipping. At the same time, it's going to allow them to bridge the gap. I know we can't advocate for a specific business, but if we were to, it's public record, I mean, of who our customers are, permit holders are. Maybe that should be the approach, the initial approach. I don't know. It's a question that I've had.
And we currently take care of everything from the billing side, sales, all that. I mean, we already take care of all that for our customers. Like I said, it's just a matter, again, of providing the best program for the county and for its residents. That's our main concern at this point.
All right, sir.
So, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Godoy. Anyone else desire to make any comments?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Virginia Townsend from Precinct 3. I'm certainly not an expert on trash collection, and it sounds like it's a simple thing, and it isn't. It's very complicated. And all I know is I hope you go with local vendors. It just doesn't seem fair to bring the big guys in who are already huge and organized and all that stuff. I don't know what kind of criteria you would put to make them qualified. You'd have to figure that out. But I just hope you go with local. Thanks.
Anyone else desire to make any comments? All right. Seeing no one at this time, we'll close our public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
Yes, sir, Judge, Commissioners.
All right, let's go to
We'll
item
continue to work
19B.
with the vendors, probably maybe visit with purchasing and with Mr. Crane to see how we can actually get together with some of these vendors without infringing on any type of procurement laws or anything like that. So we'll try to, again, work with them as well. Item 19B is approval of 2013 unappropriation of funds from the Road and Bridge Countywide Administration Contingency Fund, Program 30, in the amount of $30,989.90.
Move for approval. What?
We're unappropriating contingency funds, and these would just go back to the Countywide Road and Bridge Fund.
Check.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 19C, Judge, Commissioners, we received a funding request from the Board of Judges to purchase an Odyssey Software Session Works Judges Edition. This is for the civil case e-filing, civil case management for the judges. Again, this request, we had not budgeted for during the annual budget process last year. This is now a mandate from the state that all civil cases must be e-filed. Court just recently approved the purchase of the server for the e-filing. However, this software would allow the judges to be able to administer their cases easier. It's touchscreens where they can actually have all the information digitally as opposed to having paper jackets.
How much money?
The cost of this program is $180,000 initial cost. This includes hardware of roughly about $50,000, and then the license, and then annual maintenance.
Is there an additional fee that's going to be assessed to help pay for this?
I believe there is a fee that's going to start to be assessed, but I believe it won't be till next year. And there's a fee per case. Right now, what I'm proposing is that we utilize lapse funding from the district and county court at law judges. There's approximately $40,000 of lapse salaries within their programs, and then also requesting that we utilize, until we do the next quarterly salary sweep, that we utilize $140,000 from the $4 million that we budgeted for indigent defense cost, that we borrow from that fund, and then replenish that fund after we do the third quarter salary sweep.
For the record, we have a letter dated August 14, 2013, addressed to the County Commissioners Court, signed by every one of our district judges and every one of our county court at law judges, requesting that we approve this item.
Judge, but I don't believe the funding is in place now.
No,
So
the funding currently is not in place. This is only for discussion. I just wanted to brief the court on this request and also brief the court on my intent as far as on the funding that I'll be bringing to court for consideration, which would be that to do the salary sweep of the county court at laws and the district judges' accounts for any lapsed salaries that have accrued from the beginning of the year to now, which right now we've estimated at $40,000. And then I'll also bring a transfer for the court's approval to borrow $140,000 from the Indigent Defense Program to be able to pay for this software in the interim.
Well, can we approve it subject to funding, or do you need to bring it back?
No, we would bring those items back.
So it's like you're saying you're going to borrow, and then when you lapse salaries, you're going to replenish the...
Those accounts. So there's no action needed. I just wanted to brief the court on that funding request and then the actions that we'll be bringing to court. IT department will be bringing these contracts over to the court, and then we'll have the funding in place by the time those contracts come for the court's consideration.
Oh, there's no action?
There's no action needed on 19C. Item 19D is requesting approval to reclassify salaries and fringe benefit expenditures for one bailiff position, slot number G002, into the county's general fund for the period of January 1st, 2013 through the end of the grant award on August 31st, 2013. We've had budget cuts within the JAG grant. Currently, the grant will only sustain one employee for one budget cycle. Right now, we have two employees, a bailiff and a court coordinator. We're requesting they reclassify the bailiff position to the general fund. Their expenditures from the beginning of the year through the end of this month, we have already gotten the award for the next fiscal year. So we're requesting to reclassify those expenditures. The total amount of those expenditures that will be reclassified is $35,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Marie, we got about 12 minutes to finish our agenda.
It's not long.
We have to allow the city of Edinburgh the ability to use their
Their own
building.
facility. Going to item A1, this is acceptance and approval of interlocal lease agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the Community Supervision and Corrections Department with direction of the following, including but not limited to. The term of the agreement has historically been 10 years, and the director, Mr. Patrick, is agreeing to that. What becomes more cumbersome and a decision on your part is that in May of 2011, the court, because of state budgetary cuts,
waived the lease payments on this lease agreement between
did
adult
well,
probation and the county for the remainder of the fiscal year. And this is about to expire, the 10-year lease, so we have not been receiving the $72,000 a year lease payments because they were waived. Mr. Patrick is requesting that the new lease agreement for another 10-year term be likewise approved with no lease payments whatsoever. That is $72,000 yearly that we are losing as revenue. It's $5,500, I believe, yes, $5,500 for the lease of the building and $500 which supplements the maintenance of the building by having staff clean and maintain the building. I need direction from you all as to how we're going to do this because it is due to be expired. There was a concern by the auditor's office that Mr. Crane hadn't signed off, and that's one of the reasons he hasn't signed off. He has approved the form of agreement, except there's blanks. And as soon as the court gives us direction, he'll sign, but as to form, there's no corrections.
Right. Marty, what building is this? Because this is not the regular adult probation building, is it?
No. This is for their, the lease agreement we have for the boot camp. Was it the boot
Because
camp?
it doesn't say in here which one it is.
I'm sorry, I didn't
because
put
normally
the address.
the
No,
adult
this is the
probation is
lease,
for...
Valde, it's the boot camp building, the one that we leased to them?
Yes.
Yeah. The boot camp.
Valde, do you have a recommendation?
It's on Emerald?
Yes.
That one? I mean,
I'm sorry, Judge?
Do you have a recommendation? I mean, have you looked at this issue?
Yes. As far as the waiving?
it would be
Yes.
a 10-year, you'd be losing $750,000.
I would recommend that we waive, but that's something that we've done in the past for them.
Judge,
The
But
service
this is based
needed.
on the state's budget cuts. I mean, we have our own to deal with.
Judge, the major concern I have from a business standpoint is they're still requesting a 10-year term. Now,
Right.
things may change before 10 years is up. In
Correct.
addition to requesting a 10-year term, they're also requesting another 10-year renewal period after the 10 years.
Which-
So once you sign this, ultimately, you're committing to 20 years.
And do you want to cut it in half or?
I would think we need to cut it down some because we don't know what's going to happen over the next 20 years.
Unless we also could recommend a provision that waiver be considered
On an annual basis?
on an annual basis and bring it to court, whether it'll continue or they do theirs
Well,
biennial,
and
right?
on
They
top
do-
of that,
Yeah,
Judge,
biennial.
is
So, or
besides
every
the-
2 years on a biennium
Okay, let's
basis.
do it one at a time here.
Sorry.
Besides the cost you have that Marty went over, you also have the cost of any type of major repairs, equipment failures that you have to replace over and above the cost that Marty mentioned.
Insuring the building.
Insurance, et cetera.
But I think they came before court to request the waiving of the
In 2011. But it was going to be it was going to address their funding issue for a 2-year period.
So what I was going to suggest, maybe the court can approve it with a fee, but they can come every year and get a waiver
For us to
request.
relook at the fee as far as any...
Well, that's not
Because
really-
we're totally subsidizing their building. I mean, our building for them.
And also, I have a legal concern that I think this also needs a non-appropriation clause in this because you're making a 20-year commitment if you sign it the way it is now.
That's a lot, I mean,
Well,
That's
maybe 10 years is a long time, but 1 year is not enough. I mean, they can't plan for anything.
biennium could be every 2 years. I just feel that a 10-year period, you're going to lose, I mean, we're potentially giving away $750,000. And we're doing it for the state. I mean, we already are obligated to provide them a building. We did that. We constructed one. And now, we're giving them we're actually lending them a building to.
In 2011, we gave them a 2-year waiver.
In 2011, it was there was no provision as to where the term was going to end, actually, but it ends because it expires. The lease is expiring, the 10-year lease. So 8 years into the lease, they requested an amendment, and that was to waive the fees. And the state is making money, I mean, not making, but, I mean, they have fees that go to the operations of adult probation. That's what their fees do. So, I mean, there has to be some kind of option on the court's part to
Yeah,
revisit this.
Was Mr. Patrick aware that it was on the agenda?
He's the one that's requesting it.
And he didn't bother to show up?
Well, he
To
does,
argue
he says
for
they
it.
don't have money to pay.
Well, the type of service, I mean, look, we're still a service-oriented organization. We're not here to make a profit.
But we need to maintain our, I mean, we're in such a crunch ourselves that you're potentially paying insurance, maintaining the building. Lord help us if anything happens, major hurricane, new roof, whatever. I mean, we are now obligated.
Do we need action on this, or can you wait?
Well, we're soon to expire, but I guess 1 week, we certainly can make an attempt to plead our case with Mr. Patrick and see what he comes to the table
Well,
with.
I think it would,
Bring it back next week?
Something that would at least, reflect our costs, our investments in the building,
Okay.
okay? Going on to item B1, precinct 1, no action then?
When's this lease expires?
I'm trying to remember. I think it's this year, no, it may be the end of this year, if not before. But 1 week I will,
But we've got time then.
a little bit.
Now, wait, we'll bring it up again next week, and
Okay.
in the meantime, trying to arrive at a reasonable amount
Right.
by agreement.
Yes, like I say, at least to recoup our investment in the building. B1, acceptance and approval of a professional engineering services agreement with Millennium Engineers for Precinct 1 geotechnical services on an on-call basis.
so move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Precinct 4, correction in Agenda Item 38-110, approved on April 16th of 13 to include pursuant to Article 14 of the current agreement. Half Associates Incorporated is requesting to engage the services of a sub-consultant Prodigy with adherence to insurance provisions required by said article.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B, requesting acceptance and approval of Supplemental Agreement 1 to Work Authorization 1 is submitted by Half Associates due to additional services timeline to the project, increasing the amount by $935 with a revised total cost of $6,935 for the purposes of engineering services for job-specific project, which is US 281 and State Highway 186 Lynn San Manuel Beautification Project in connection with the agreement posted on the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item D for Sheriff's Office, requesting approval to rescind action taken by Commissioners Court on August 6th for the polygraph examiner due to the vendor not being able to meet our insurance requirements.
Steve,
Yes, sir.
are we legally okay?
Yes, the agreement hasn't even been executed. He can't come up with
The
them.
agreement has not been executed, so you cannot meet the requirements.
All right, need a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
B is presentation of the next lowest amount received through request for sealed quotes as detailed in the tabulation sheet contained herein. We are recommending as concurrence with the Sheriff's Department to award to Purpose Driven from Weslaco, Texas.
So move.
Second.
Those
It's
in
a
favor
$5
say aye.
difference in their pricing.
Aye, motion carries. Do
Thank
we
you very
have
much.
time to go into executive?
It'll take, yes, Judge, it'll take less than 2 minutes.
All right, pursuant to 55107-1 and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
So move.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, we're going to be in executive for a while.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Item 21A, no action. Real estate, item 21B, pending potential, no action. Item 21C, economic development, no action.
22, what was it?
I'm sorry.
22A?
I'm sorry. 22, I'm sorry. 22A, B, and C, there is no action, as I've read. And 22D, Jose M. Moncada versus Judge Ismael Ochoa, JP Precinct 3, Place 2, Daisy Sarape, and Court Coordinator, JP Precinct 3, Place 2. Judge Commissioners, for the record, just want to disclose that will be facilitated by Ms. Josie Ramirez's office at the DA's office. Item 22E, Jose Ruben Bailly versus Hidalgo County Sheriff's Department. Judge Commissioners, I want to refer back to item 7A1 and 2, 7A1, exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Section 2620224A4, professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation. If I can have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
And 7A2, I'm requesting the engagement with the firm of Atlas Hall and Rodriguez for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit letter of engagement as it pertains to Jose Ruben Bailly versus the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Department.
So moved.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
22F, claim of Eleuterio Puente. Judge Commissioner, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer of $210 and settlement of.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 22G, claim of Lisandra Ortega. Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $962.02.
Move for approval.
Settlement
Second.
of.
Those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So
Move for
moved.
approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.